So the way on how Social Security calculates the benefits is by different percentages, but the overall basis is you have to pump money into the system in order to get money out of the system. Meaning that you had to have at least worked for 10 years or equivalent to 40 quarters in order to be eligible to receive a Social Security benefit. And if we exclude if somebody was on Social Security disability or there's some sort of survivor benefit or different things like that, this is just for an individual that's paying into the system that's receiving a benefit. Now, the way on how it works is the Social Security system is going to take your highest 35 years of work and put that into a calculation that will determine how much Social Security income that you would receive at a later date. So if you take 35 years and we multiply that by 12 months, that comes out to 420 months. So what they're doing is they're taking the highest 420 months and they're averaging that out, and then that's how they're basically using that computation. So before somebody's looking to file, it makes a ton of sense to make sure you're going on SSA.gov or you're looking at your statement and you're making sure that all those numbers are accurate and correct. You're not seeing zeros where there were years that you were working, but for some reason, the Social Security system did not have you in there. Maybe the employer forgot to, put something in there, whatever the case might be. You want to make sure that all those numbers are accurate and correct, and you're seeing something on a consistent basis. Now, also what you'll notice is you might have certain cap limits of what's going into the system. So an individual, let's say if you have a husband and wife, and let's say the husband makes $1 million a year and the wife's making $200,000 a year, well, both of them are maxed out with what they're paying into the Social Security system. So therefore, their numbers, if all things being equal, their numbers should be pretty much identical. The way and how that 420 months or that 35 years comes into play is, let's say somebody only worked for 20 years. Well, their 20 years that they're working is going to be applied to that number, applied to that calculation, but then the remaining numbers are going to get 15 years worth of zeros, and hence their benefit is not going to be as strong, as large as an individual that was working for the full 35 years. So be mindful of what you're placing in there. That cap limit of the 168,600, once again, this is just for 2024. That number adjusts each year, and that's where it makes mathematical sense based on when you're watching this video to check what that number is for, what that number is capped at or uncapped at, to make sure that all those numbers are correct on your Social Security statement. So I hope that this makes sense. You need to at least have it in there for at least 10 years. You're paying into the Social Security payroll tax. So the more money that you're pumping in there, the more money you're going to be getting out of it. And it takes the highest 35 years, also known as the highest 420 months. And it's going to be capped at 6.2%, of what that, income limit is at 168,600.